Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia. I welcome you all to this new session of Fundamental of Nursing. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the legal considerations. As in my previous session, we have discussed about the ethics and about the various ethical principles. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about what are the legal considerations which are present in this profession of nursing. So under this, we will first move on to the legal implications. So being in this profession, as a nurse, you are the one responsible to provide care. However, when you are providing care, there are certain implications that can occur. So it is very necessary that whenever you provide care, you must be in a good state of mind and perform your duty efficiently. So now we will look on what are the various implications that can occur in this profession. Here, the first one is torts. So what do you mean by torts? Client's privacy confidential. So here, being in this profession, you should not go and spread their information or communicate anything that is related to them until it is necessary so that we can provide an efficient care to the patient. So here, while we are providing care to the patient, we must make sure that we should not try to interfere in an individual's privacy. The next one here is assault. So, what do you mean by assault? Assault occurs when a person tries to put another person in fear of a harmful situation or an offensive contact. So, now when we provide care, we should make sure that this person should not get this feeling that we are assaulting them. Moving on to the third one, that is battery. Battery is defined as an intentional touching of a person to the other person's body. So, whenever we are providing care or whenever we are about to perform any procedure, it is very important that we must first explain this procedure to the patient so that they do not feel that we are touching them inappropriately or so that they do not get any wrong idea that we are trying to invade his or her personal property. Now, the next one here is negligence. Here, negligence is the lack of the proper care or attention. So, being in this profession, it is very important that you must provide good and efficient care to the patient. You must pay proper attention to whatever is going through with them so that you can plan for the further treatment. While providing care, if you forget to perform any steps, or if, let's say, if you forget to administer any medications which was advised for you to do so, this can cause a major change in the health status of the individual as well as in the treatment plan. So, as a nurse, we must make sure that whatever we are doing, we must do it carefully, we must record everything accurately, and most importantly, we must perform all the procedures in time. The next one here is malpractice. So, this malpractice is an improper or an illegal behavior. It is the failure to meet the standards of the acceptable care which can result in harm to another person. So, being in this profession, we should make sure that we do not adopt to any malpractice as this is against the law and also is just the opposite of what our profession is meant to be. Here, as a nurse, it is your duty to provide care to the patient and to take decisions which will help them promote their health, not the one who should deteriorate or who should harm the patient. Next is fraud. Fraud results from a deliberate deception which is intended to produce the unlawful gains. Next is the false imprisonment. So, what do you mean by false imprisonment and when does it occur? This false imprisonment can occur when a person is not allowed to leave the healthcare facility or the healthcare setting even without having a justification to detain the client in the healthcare facility or when any restraint devices are used to the client even when it is not advised. So this is what false imprisonment means. Next is invasion of privacy. This include violating confidentiality, intruding on private clients or of the family matters. Here, being in this profession, it is also necessary that you must not share the client's information with anyone. So when you do this, this is against the law. And being in this profession, it is also very important that you must maintain the confidentiality of the client. You must not share the information of the client with others until it is authorized. Now moving on to the legal documents. These legal documents comprise of many types. The first one here is the advance directive. So what is this advance directive? These advance directives are the written documents which is recognized by the law and which will give us a direction on what care is to be provided to the patient or on what are the procedures that we need to carry on for a patient who is not able to take his own decision. This can be beneficial especially when the patient is unconscious or when the patient cannot take his decision by his own self. With the use of this advanced directive, we can start providing care to the patient even without him making the treatment choices. Now, moving on to the next one, that is the do not resuscitate order. This is a written order by a physician when the client has indicated a desire to be allowed to die if he stops breathing or if his heart stops beating. So this is an order which will be applied to the client if they has indicated that they wish to die. So here if the client stops breathing or if the client heart stops beating, we will not make any alternative method such as CPR or any other things that can help him regain his life back. And the last one is the legal consent. So, what is this legal consent? This legal consent is a document which is usually given to the patient or to the family members before any procedure is being done to the patient. This serves as a proof that the procedure has already been explained to the client or to the family members before it was performed, so that in case any complication occurs, this would serve as a proof that it has already been informed to the client or to the family members and they are ready to take the risk. Now, moving on to the next one, that is the nursing liabilities and the preventive measures that a nurse can take in order to prevent these legal implications. The next one here is the legal responsibilities. So under this, the first one is registration. As we all know that licensing is a mandatory procedure for the practice of nursing. So why registration? Registration because it aims at protecting the patient by providing the qualified nurses. So in order to be a qualified nurse, you must obtain a license from the State Nursing Registration Council of the particular state from where you had qualified to be a nurse. This will serve as a proof that you are a qualified nurse and that you are able to provide high quality care to the patient. The next is legal liability. This can come into action when you as a nurse tries to perform any malpractice or if there is an act of negligence which was done by you. So through this, your license can be either suspended or even cancelled. So you must be very careful whenever you are providing care to the patient. The next is the medical legal case. What is a medical legal case? A medical legal case is a case in which the patient comes to the hospital not because of some disease conditions but because of an unnatural pathology. This can be the form of road traffic accidents, murder or suicide. So when these type of patient comes to the healthcare facility, it is our responsibility that we must collect all the information as well as contact the police about this particular case. The next is correct identity. Here, correct identification is very, very important. Being a nurse, you must always identify the patient correctly. So, if an unconscious patient comes to the hospital, it is your responsibility to find out their identification and label them appropriately. Similarly, if a mother gives birth to a newborn baby, it is your responsibility that you must label them appropriately and correctly and also give them to the right parents. Even when you are documenting the charts of the patient, you must document their information correctly. The next one is the examination of the rape case. So here, if a girl comes to the healthcare facility and says that she is raped, in order to perform the further examination, a female nurse or female attendant must also be present at that particular time. The next is the artificial human insemination. So, in order to perform this procedure, you must have a written consent from both the donors as well as the recipient. You must also make sure that their blood group is of the same type. Here, it is also very important that the identity of the donor as well as the recipient should be kept confidential and also their documents should be safe. The next one is the poison care. So, when a patient comes to the healthcare facilities with the case of poisoning, what is the first thing you must do? You must provide care and you must make sure that you should not give any verbal or written opinion. You should make sure that collect and preserve all the vomitus, aspirins, excreta, and send them to lab immediately for further investigation. So these are the various legal responsibilities of the nurse. Now moving on to the next one, that is the nurse's role in order to prevent complication. So in order to prevent complication, what are the various things that a nurse can do? The first one is she should review all the nursing practice periodically. She should also always try to update her knowledge as well as her skills, either by attending short term courses in service education and continuing learning education. Short term courses in service education as well as continuing learning programs. She should also have a complete knowledge of all the rules and regulations of the hospital and also their description. She should follow all the nursing standards as well as protocols. She should be a keen observer as well as a good listener. She should also make sure that all written instruction must have rules and code of practice laid down to ensure the safety and well-being of the patient as well as of the nurses. She should maintain all the records and reports of each and every client. She should also follow the six rights. That is the right patient, right route, right drug, right time, right technique, and the right of the patient to know his or her own disease condition. She should check the treatment order. Not only this, but as a nurse, she can also judge before implementing these treatment orders in order to make sure that whatever is being provided to the client will be for the benefits of them. She should also make sure that she should not exceed the limit of the nursing procedure laid down by the statutory bodies. So these are the different responsibilities of a nurse in order to prevent the complications that can occur in their profession. So these are the various responsibilities of a nurse that she can adopt to in order to prevent the occurrence of any complication in their profession. So now we have come to the end of this topic. So in today's session, we have discussed about the various legal implications, the nursing liabilities and preventive measures, the legal responsibilities, as well as the role of a nurse in preventing complications. So I hope you guys have got a clear understanding of this topic. Thank you.